Maybe you've heard of the 40-yard dash. That is where football players will commonly run 40 yards and they will track the fastest and the slowest. So let's do a countdown in this video, but it won't be the 40-yard dash. It'll be the 40-fold dash. Regarding that of cryptocurrencies, we'll count down the 9 fastest 40-fold dashes there have been on Bittrex. Go over a few key parameters along the way. Start off with the slowest, and when I say slowest as the fastest time, that would be Ethereum. And Ethereum went up 40 times, and these are prices against Bitcoin from here to here, taking about a year and a half. It had to slow down and take a little break amongst its race, but it managed to complete the 40-fold dash. Some of the parameters: 1, it needs to have entered the 18 average band on the weekly term time frame. It cannot have any of the annoying lows that look like this. And for highs, it only counts highs like this if it's already in a very solid uptrend. There'll be a couple cases amongst such that situation, and that's more common to have those up moves like that when it goes straight up. So before we go over the top 9, and we'll look at each one of the charts for how they happened, we'll take a look at the ones that didn't make it, not look at the charts other than this one, and let's take a look at them. Ethereum again, 17 months it took. SIS, 16 months. And this is when it started. So in this case, it would have started January of 2016. And then the duration of time for how long it took. So I'm just going to scroll through the list. We can see it goes from 12. A very common number is around 2. And here we have IOC. And within that, it did it in 5 months in January of 2015. But later again, it ran the 40-fold dash, and it did it a lot slower. It did it in almost 2 years, so even slower than Ethereum's run. It's the slowest one that I've seen. Koval, 5 months, a few others in at 5, some 4s, some 3s, and as I state, there's a lot of 2s. A lot of these coins have done 2 months. So that's a very common length, and a lot of them happened during the highs last spring and the summer. Some of them happened in previous years, like for AEON in January of 2016. But a lot of these bottoms occurred in the earlier parts of the year, especially in January, February. And I find that part relatively interesting. So then, let's now move in to the top 9. And coming in on such is LITECOIN. From May the 10th to June the 4th, over a span of 25 days, it had a 40x move. And this was the move right in here. Now, technically, it had its move in this is a weekly chart. Let's fix this up a little bit. And it didn't quite make it at first because it was about a 25 or so fold move coming up to this 95. But then as it was approaching up here, that's when it did it. Coming in at number 8 is that of Bittrex, VTC. And this happened in 2015 from May 19th. Through that of June 11th, spanning 23 days, as it had this spectacular gain against Bitcoin. Number 7 is that of Exclusive Coin, ticker symbol EXCL, and for 3 weeks, from March 22nd through that of April 12th of 2017, it had its fantastic gain. It got about a 25 or so X move in here, had to stabilize a bit, and then it finally finished its 40-fold dash. And by the way, Dash is not on this list. It came close, but it has yet to do the 40-yard fold, given that its name. Maybe at some point it will. but as of now it hasn't. Coming in at number 6, eBoost, and for 19 days it had a run from June the 5th to the 24th. This is one of the cases where the majority of the gains came in the last few hours, as this was the move in here, so it all happened at the very end. This is the 4-hour time frame, so this was a spot where the last bit of its move went from 3,700 to 80,000, which was a 20x gain for the time. It had to have a 2x gain before then for the 40, but the 40-fold dash was completed with the majority of it done at the very end of its run. Although it doesn't really run, it trades. EGC coming in at number 5 for 19 days in 2016, and what a very good run it had. Not much slowing down here and there, a little bit at the earlier parts, but it flew at the very end for a very nice play. And at number 4 is Verge. We're at 13 days for this one, which happened almost a year ago, or about a year ago, December 10th to December the 23rd. And what a beautiful rise that this managed to have, and great volatility that proceeded there after the fact. Price action has now since fallen to 200, or down about 80% since that point, but hey, it ran the 40-fold dash very effectively. Moving on to number 3. And in one less day for that of 12, Z Classic, ZCL, from December 18th through the 29th, around the same time frame, it had a 40-fold dash, but it also gave it back. This is the fast the move was that occurred. The main part of it was December 21st to December 28th, as the majority of its extreme fast run came into play, but it fell just as fast as it rose. And it again rose pretty fast, down to the top 2. And in a span of only 8 days, from August 23rd through August 31st of 2016, a tremendous gain came into play. And really it was a 2-day move. 1-day move if you consider this day. It was mainly a 1-day move on August the 31st. What a spectacular day of trading that would have been for those holding that coin. Alrighty, I'm not going to put a drum roll or anything of the like in, but the next number moving down is number 1. And it did such in 6 days, and it was even a little quicker than that, as the majority of the move happened on, well, the last many minutes and hours probably. I'll use the 4-hour time frame to show this, but it happened April 10th through the 16th of 2017, and it's a technicality. For April 10th was an interesting buy that would have had to make it go to 40x. We'll show that, but this is what happened. That period there had volatility in itself, going from 520 to 3,000. That was almost a 6-fold move. And going before then, it had to buy right down at that 75 number to technically make that 40x play, or the 40-fold dash. But it's a numbers game, and I counted this only because it wasn't that large of a pierce when we look at this on the daily term time frame. As within such, and scrolling back, it doesn't really count as one of those big moves. That's like almost a comeback effect. Maybe one might say, yeah, you know what, we got to count it from this date, and that's the case. It's going to be in there around the number 10 mark, or at the 1 month bottom area of almost making the cut. But I'm kind of count this, and that's for Pink, which was a song done by Aerosmith. My favorite color, crayon, passion, all that kind of stuff. Well, it was a lot of people's favorite gains on the date. Now, whenever these moves happen, there's always buyers up in here. Well, that might, these days, for those people who bought near these tops, may not have been such great days. But it was their choice to buy and help work these coins successfully within their run of the 40-fold dash. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.